In this video, we're going to show you how to install the power window regulator and motor on your Toyota Tundra located inside your front door. With the door open, we'll go ahead and use a pocket screwdriver. We're going to come around to the front side of our switch panel and just go underneath the edge right here. We're going to gently pry upward and then pull the switch panel forward and then pull it out. Now on the back side is going to be an electrical connector. There's a little push tab right there. You can use the screwdriver or you can use your thumb and push down on it, but we're just going to push down and then pull it out, just like so. Go ahead and set that switch aside. And then we're going to move right up here to the door release handle. There should be a plastic cap right in the center. You can use your pocket screwdriver. Just get in behind it and pop that out. Once you're done there, move over here. Go ahead, get behind this little cover, and gently pry that out. And then if we move down underneath the door pull, there's a button right here. Go ahead and do the same thing. Just kind of get in there and pry that out. Now we have our tweeter cover right here. We can use our pocket screwdriver or a trim tool, whatever you want. You just gently pry out. You're going to release a little retainer clips. Pull that cover out. There's just a little clip here and a little ball tab right here that pops into place. So go ahead and set that aside. Now we're going to move down here to the forward portion of the panel and use our Phillips head screwdriver, loosen and remove this here. Set that aside. And then right inside the door release handle, go ahead and grab that screw right here. It's also a Phillips head. And then we'll move down to underneath the door pull. Go ahead and get to that screw that's in here. Now we want to go ahead and remove our door pull bezel. And what we're going to do is use our pocket screwdriver and we're going to go between the pull lever and the trim bezel right underneath the pivot point and just gently push that in and pry it out. We're going to do the same above the door lock button. Slide that out. So there are two little buttons that lock into these holes on the trim bezel. At the bottom of our door panel, we have our lamp right here. Put your pocket screwdriver in the back side and just gently pry it outward. Here we go. Now there's two little tabs. There's a little spring clip right here, and there's a little tab right here that we released. Remove the electrical connection right here. You can just press down on that tab and pinch that, pull that off, and set this light aside. Now along the bottom of your door panel, you're gonna scroll across, and we're using our trim tool, and you can find a little window right here. You use our trim tool to get underneath, get your finger underneath, and we're just gonna gently pull outward. There are plastic buttons that pop the door panel onto the door shell. Work your way around the perimeter, releasing these buttons. With the buttons released from the door panel, pull the door panel, tip it outward, and then lift it up. And then away from the door shell, set that aside. We're going to go ahead and remove our speaker setup here. There's little tabs right here. I'm going to push in on these. Separate that harness from there. Now we're going to remove the three 10mm bolts holding the speaker to the door. Now there's a little clip right here. We want to press in on that and separate the harness from the speaker itself. The lower harness here for the little light on the door panel, I want to go ahead and separate that. So just use your trim tool and pop that button out. Now we have our water shield here, the plastic shield. Now ours apparently has been off a few times before, but it does have this black adhesive around the perimeter. It's a resealable adhesive and it's super sticky, so you don't want to get this on you. But our goal is to pull this up so we can gain access to the inside of the door panel. Go ahead and take that wire harness. We're going to tuck it through the slot in the water shield. And then we can peel this up and flip this over. Our next step is to go ahead and grab your power window switch. Install the connector. And we're going to have to go ahead and put our key in the on position. We want to go ahead and raise this glass just a little bit. I'm going to pull up our water shield here, and we're going to tape this up. We're going to adjust our glass, and there's going to be a 10mm bolt to the far left of this track right here. And then if you follow this track all the way over, it's going to come over right into the speaker hole on the right-hand side. There's going to be a second 10mm bolt right about 9 o'clock of that hole. Using a 10mm socket, loosen these. And remove those. Our next step is to raise our glass, and we're going to tape it up using our painter's tape. So let's go to the top of the door sill, grab that glass, and we're going to pull that up. Now, sometimes the tape is not sufficient. We're just going to use our suction cups, and we're going to slide our glass up. With the glass held in place, let's go ahead and remove the regulator. We're going to disconnect our electrical connector here for the switch. And there's going to be a total of 7 bolts holding this. Let's go ahead, loosen and remove these using a 10mm socket. Now there is an electric motor attached to this here. The wire harness comes through on the back side. So the wire harness comes up behind the door panel and it comes right to here. So I want to go ahead and separate this and wiggle this connector off. Okay, feed that down inside. Now we can go ahead and remove your regulator from the hole at the base of the door. I'm going to close this up. Watch your fingers. You don't want to pinch your fingers in there. Good, and install your regulator, feeding that into place. Now the wire itself, I'm going to feed that up through the hole in the door panel. Now we're not going to connect that yet. We want to go ahead and come back down and install some of our bolts for our regulator. We want to get this anchored to the door shell itself. There's a pivot point right here that lines up with this plastic clip in the door. Go ahead and push that in and adjust your regulator till these other holes start to line up. Once you have 2 of these in, everything else should pretty much line up automatically. Go ahead and finish installing the rest of the bolts. With all these bolts installed, we can go ahead and snug them all down. We're going to release our suction cups, or you can remove the tape off of your glass and lower the glass down to the regulator. Now what we're looking to do here is we need to hold that glass up in a place. You can see the tabs, the mounting tabs. Now you can take the lower track and slide it left and right to get these holes to line up. Go ahead and get that bolt started. I'm going to go ahead and install the one over on the far left. You can do the same thing. Go ahead and adjust that glass in that track. Get that bolt started. Now we can go ahead and snug them down. We can install our electrical connector. Go ahead and install your window switch. We do want to go ahead and give this a test. Window is sealing up properly. And we'll lower that back down completely. Let's go ahead and disconnect our switch. We're going to shut off our ignition key. That harness pull through, we can go ahead and install our water shield in its OEM location, getting that adhesive to stick. Let's go ahead and install our speaker next. With all 3 screws started, go ahead and snug them down. Once those screws bottom out, that's pretty much it. Do not over tighten them because it's just plastic inserts that is holding these in place. Take your electrical connector, pop this together, and take your light harness, plug that back into the bottom of the door. I'm going to take our door panel and we're going to hang it on the upper sill here first, pulling out the lower portion, line that up, and press that down. There it is right there. And once that's down, the pins themselves are on the perimeter, should pretty much line up. So I'm going to pull that wire harness out for the light. Then we can go ahead and press in on our door panel. Snapping in all of our clips. Now at the bottom, let's go ahead and install our light right now. Snap that in. Now what we're going to do is, this is a spring clip on the forward side, so we're going to insert the back section first and then press in the front, and it just snaps in. Install the lower large screw underneath the door pull, and you want to snug that down gently. You'll feel it bottom it out. Just give it a little bit more. Then we have a screw on the upper right. I'm going to install this one here. Install your door handle trim bezel. Simply line that up and insert the front and then push in the back. Install the screw. Now normally after this screw is installed, there's going to be a little plastic cap here you can snap into place. Let's move over to the right side where we can install the plastic cap over this. We can go down to the lower pull area and install this button right here. We can install our power window switch. And push that on, you can feel it and hear it snap into place. Now we're going to install the back section first. Tip that in, push it back, and then press down on the front, snapping that in. And if we follow up to the sail panel here for our speaker cover, we're going to lower the bottom tab here into the square hole in the door shell. So feed that in, push that in and down, and then press this in. At this point here, your door panel is installed and you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.